3, 2, 1.
Beautiful.
It's Thursday.
Woo-hoo.
Hello. And Eva's going to come and do something. Why don't you just tell me how to do this?
Hey, have we done our hands?
Find it.
Where's the sanitizer?
Hand sanitizer.
Got it.
Do. So
Hand
how's
sanitizer,
everyone's
hands
week?
up.
That'll do.
Eva's already got some.
She's already done.
What?
I'm sanitized.
Sorry, everyone. We're a little bit out of sorts this week.
We just almost had quite a few customers.
We forgot to lock the door when we closed, so we had about 15 people try and come in for our rum tasting.
15 people who'd already been drinking.
Yeah, so that was exciting.
Like we're only allowed to have 10 people in the shop.
Oopsie. Oh well, that's fine.
Felt a bit like a home
Well,
invasion.
comments come up here.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Let's
We're here to
go.
taste rum.
Let's start again. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday. Tasting rum.
Yeah,
Yum.
what are we doing this week?
Yum, yum, it's rum.
Why are we tasting rum?
Because it's, we feel like pirates.
The real question is that we needed to do a spirit that was something darker as it gets a bit colder. So we thought, why not cheer us all up with a bit of rum?
That's a very good point.
Bit exciting.
Oh, Jen Donaldson says, hello, Wigglies. Yes, here we are.
Today we have got Vivienne on screen, which means we are the three Wiggles.
I'm obviously the yellow one.
Um,
And the yellow one is a girl, which is good. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Carmen.
Beautiful.
Who else we got on?
Jen, Liz.
Lovely.
Awesome. We've got some bods on.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
So, very excited for rum this week.
I will say
rum
before I
tasting.
start that I'm driving, so I'm actually going to nick off screen every now and again to put my tasting in the bucket. So,
So tell us about rum.
yes.
How do you make rum?
Sugar, do, 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 do.
Well, let's pour some rum, and Luke will pour rum.
Luke's the one here.
Luke's
That's
the
my
one here.
plan.
He's the blue wiggle. He's here. He'll pour the rum. Rum is made from sugar cane. So they basically take sugar cane molasses or the byproduct of sugar cane, the sugary bit before it becomes actual sugar, sort of the in-between molasses phase. They ferment that off and then they distill it. A lot of variety in rum comes from two major things. One is the type of sugar cane and how it's been grown, and the other thing is how that sugar cane's then been refined. Like the new refineries refine the sugar down. A lot of distillers think too much, so you don't get enough flavour coming through. So some of the older, more clunky kind of refineries tend to be able to make a better molasses and therefore make a better rum. But so many opinions about what's the right sort of still and what's the right sort of process to make the molasses and what's the right sort of sugar cane in the first place, and you get this broad spectrum of all sorts of different rums.
And on that spectrum, you've also got to know that rum can be made from anywhere from straight sugarcane juice all the way down to basically what is almost treacle. So extremely dark molasses that's really heavily
or
concentrated.
just a whole lot of the sugar cane just chopped up and chucked in.
Exactly.
So where did it start? Whose idea was this?
Whose idea was this? This is a... No, look, even shake your head. Quick, pass her a drink. No, she's not going to like this. She's got to spit it out.
The reason we haven't got Eva on screen this week is we did a little sneaky tasting as a precursory to
I
this.
don't think you should dob.
No, I'm dubbing. I'm dubbing Eva in. She said she doesn't like rum.
And I was gonna give it a go, and then I tried the rum, and I was like, no, I can't do it.
Okay. So here we go. I've got me instead.
There's about 1 million different stories about where does rum come from. Obviously, we all see it in the Caribbean, and we think of all these piratey things, which is one place. But there's been documentation in Sanskrit of the Indians having rum, and also back in the Greeks and all sorts of people in the Middle East.
Right.
So rum might have actually popped up all over the world in different places at different times. So there's probably might be multiple origins of rum if you read half the stories about it.
And that being said,
I like the pirate stories though. They're the best.
there's also rums that have come out of Mexico and places like that. And why you might not know these countries for rum is because sometimes they didn't end up being rum. They ended up being distilled to a really high proof, which became vodka. Because vodka can be made out of anything. So that's possibly why you don't necessarily see rums from all around the world because they might just be using the cane
Other people wanted more alcohol.
for other things.
Before we start, now, obvious question is, which one are we starting with, please, Mr. Blue Purple?
Wiggle.
We're starting with the Applewood Estate. Sorry.
Appleton.
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 Sorry, I got carried away. Appleton Estate signature blend,
Which comes from?
Jamaica. So this is a Jamaican style rum.
Right.
Now, rum comes generically in whole lots of different sorts, but in the base sorts are white rum, golden rum, which is this rum, or dark rum. And you're thinking about white rum, gold rum, or dark rum, it's pretty easy to work out why. It's about the colour. That's a sort of a goldy colour, so that's a gold rum. A dark rum is a lot blacker than that, and a white rum is, of course, a lot paler than that.
And it is a spectrum. These aren't necessarily the most... You'll find with rum, you'll get rums all the way through.
Yeah, but the white rum tends to be made for
white.
mixing, for daiquiris and mojitos and those sorts of things, where the dark rum tends to be for sipping. Unless, of course, it's Bundaberg, and you put as much coke in as possible, so you can't taste it.
Now. So welcome to Nikki and Melanie and Alistair and Jeffrey from Darwin.
And Mandy.
Ahoy,
And
Jeffrey!
Oh, good. All right, so we're trying the Appleton,
Estate.
what Christine refers to as the Appleton commercial real estate.
It smells like caramelized apple.
Yeah,
It
I'm
does.
getting apple.
Mm. Yeah, I'm getting apple.
Are you getting any other smells?
Apple
Eva?
wood, actually, I'm getting.
Apple wood. Wow. Well, maybe that's where Luke was saying Appleton wood. Wrong.
Scott Reed's joined.
Scott
Hey,
Reed.
Scotty.
Hey, Scotty.
Hey.
Scotty knows all about
Cheers,
rum. I thought
you.
Scott was going to be here.
Well, yeah, in case you don't know, Scott is with East London Liquor.
So we will...
We'll talk more about Scott when we get there.
When you get questions about East London, we'll just defer them and he can answer over the chat. How's that?
I'm getting lots of
Apple spice,
little bit of cloves,
Yeah.
cinnamon.
bit of vanilla.
Yeah,
Any vanilla?
lots of vanilla.
Is that out of the oak? Is that where it comes
Probably,
from?
yeah, most likely.
So you've described how you actually make the rum out of, whether it's out of sugar or sugarcane or molasses. What then happens to it?
Well, it gets fermented off in a wash,
Yep.
like most things do, and that's where you get the alcohol from. Then in she goes in the still and gets distilled.
And then they put it in what, barrels?
Barrels,
bottles?
yeah.
Barrels.
Yeah,
So oak barrels?
be oak barrels.
Okay.
Yeah, traditionally everything went to oak barrels because they didn't have stainless steel or anything else. If you go back, oak barrels was the way anything was transported. Olives, beer, wine.
Think of something, put it in a barrel.
Well, it was the easiest way to transport stuff. Like, the Greeks used those ceramic amphoras. The trouble is those...
They break.
They break really easy. So, like, every shipwreck you ever see of a Greek cargo vessel is like all these broken amphoras, which was either... It could have been olives, it could have been wine, it could have been anything. But there's lots of smashed up stuff.
I dare say there would have been a
Where
lot
the
of lost booze.
oak barrel, full of booze, overboard she goes, it floats.
Ooh.
The pirates can go find it again.
You're very keen on the pirates, aren't
I
you?
am very keen on the pirates. I'm feeling like a pirate today.
And if everything was put in oak barrels, we'd have lots of empty museums. They're all full of little bits of broken pottery,
Oh,
aren't
well, the museums can have their
Back to the rum.
Greek vases and we can have the rum.
they? So we're smelling lots of sort of appley, oaky, vanilla-y, spicy things.
Oh. There's a very interesting taste on the palate, which I can't quite put my finger on.
What's a dark?
A little bit of star anise actually on the palate.
Yeah, I can get that.
A dark treacly thing happening.
Yeah.
Got a great mouthfeel
Yeah,
though. Gives you that gorgeous mouthfeel. Yum.
Ooh. Where would you guys want to be drinking this?
On a beach, man, in the sun.
Nice.
Nice.
Beach bar. A beach bar with lots of cute Jamaican boys serving me cocktails. Just roughly. Sorry.
Just off the top
Vivienne's
of my
not
head.
thought about this before at all.
I'll go on. That's where you want to be as well, Luke. Now, you just added some water, Luke. Why did you do that?
Haven't added any water.
What did you do? Add?
I've just
Right.
added some ginger ale. Just some generic home brand cheap ginger ale. Mostly because this is probably what most people are going to be mixing their rums
Okay.
with.
What about garnish? Do you think you're going to pop something else in it?
Now that I've added the ginger ale, I actually think this could do with a bit of lime.
Bit of lime.
Lime's pretty traditional for rum and dry, but sometimes
Oh,
not
a bit
always.
of dry, please.
Yeah, of course.
Jen has said at a tiki bar.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
Bingo.
it.
Jared even said a swim up bar. That's pretty
Yes.
good. Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Mm.
Well,
Hang on, you
swim
need, to
up,
have,
float.
you need to have a swim up tiki bar served by pirates in shorts.
And then, and then even Josh said, get a painkiller on the beach. So, pool, beach.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's general consensus.
Where's
You
my
notice it's
pirates
always a
at?
swim up bar. It's not a swim away. You swim up and you float away.
Doggy paddle away.
So,
You don't swim away.
just fall off.
This does really well with a bit of lime and ginger ale. I will say, to half a shot of rum, I've added a very small quantity of ginger ale.
Jen has said, I added water. Not recommended. Thank you.
That's a really nice combination, actually. That could be a lovely long drink, I think, in summer.
Yeah, the thing about rum, a lot of dark spirits you add water to. Because rum comes from something dark,
I must
like,
be a dark spirit.
like treacle or molasses, and then it's been thinned out in the distillation process. Adding more water is not always the best for the flavour profile. Sometimes it needs the heavier texture.
And have lime, too. Makes a difference.
So
Have lime.
I would suggest maybe not adding water to some of the gold rums.
Jared says he's using the Strange Love double ginger beer as a mixer. We didn't try ginger beer. That's an idea.
I do like a ginger beer with rum.
I like a ginger beer. Full
Well,
stop.
ginger beer with rum is a traditional dark and stormy.
With lime. It's got to have lime.
Well, okay, but it's called a dark and stormy. It's a way, very
You can
traditional
call
way.
it whatever you like, really.
Well, it's a very traditional way of serving rum.
Cool.
With ginger beer.
Great with frozen pieces of lime, says Liz. That's been
Okay.
organised.
That'll keep your drink cold.
That will keep your drink cold.
Mm.
Awesome.
I'd go with it. That's a good idea. Just beer.
I've got to say, so we've got a homegrown lime today, which is very acidic, very sharp, and I'm finding it a lot more refreshing than I think if I were to use.
Now, for those of us,
Normal
do you
lime.
want to talk about the colour of the lime, Luke? We have mentioned this previously, but for people who are new to the place group,
To the people at home, this may look like a lemon. It is not. It is a very properly ripened lime. A lot of limes you see in the supermarket are sort of
electric
hormoned or gassed or, all sorts of things to make them ripen on the inside without colouring them. But a properly ripened lime often would be quite yellow.
yeah, on
So
the
if
outside.
if you buy them organic or from the farmer's market, you'll often see that they're quite light on the outside. Or if you grow them
Very
from home,
yellow, yeah.
very yellow.
This follows on from our clementine lesson the last week. We're becoming quite the citrus experts.
Indeed.
Okay, what are we doing next?
Yum. All right. Next on the books, Flor de Caña.
Yeah.
Which comes from?
Nicaragua? Is that right?
And this one's a 7-year-old.
Pretty sure it's
isn't it?
Nicaragua. It says on the bottle.
Yes, Nicaragua. Sorry,
That was right. Yay!
Right, okay, cool.
my
How about
memory is
that?
very poor today.
Nicaragua.
Do you know what gives rum its complexity, or what? Do you know what other distilleries do to sort of mix it up a little?
Oh well, there's when you start distilling anything, there's always arguments about what sort of still you should use. That's one influence. I mean, but it would start off the flavours to be like anything. It would be starting off with what sort of sugar cane you grew. Yeah, and how well it matched the sort of the soils and the climate of where you're growing it. That would influence it a lot. There's lots of carry on about Demerara, which comes from a specific part of the world, from a specific Demerara cane. That seems to be, most opinions says that produces the best rum, the most flavourful rum.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that with that because that says Demerara. So.
Oh, that's quite different.
The other thing to be said for rums, rum often, to reach the right complexity, is a blend. So traditionally when distilling rum, you take whatever sugarcane product you want to use and you distill it to get basically a rum that is an essence of that very cane. To add a lot of nuance and different flavours and complexity to a rum, what's often done is a blending. So where the cane is produced, it's often distilled, then sold off to a rum company that then blends it all together to create their signature style.
Okay.
So you look at something like the Appleton, they actually say it's signature blend. They very specifically state that it is,
Right.
it is a blend of flavours, and that's what gives you the complexity.
Is there much difference in the colour of these?
I actually think the first two, there's not much difference. You know, there's beautiful golden amber colour.
Yep.
So,
Well, hang on, just to flow on from where we were, then it's not just the blending. You'll find even a lot of the distillers will use a range of stills. They won't just use the one. Like most of them will have a pot still and a column still and a whatever other kind of still, and they'll have variations on that. And they'll swear black and blue that each one gives a different flavour and that they blend those components together to get the overall blend.
this has got a bit more of a floral note. So, just going into it.
Yeah.
And this is the Flor de Caña 7-year-old. So this has been aged for 7 years in oak barrels, from what I understand.
Right.
And part of the reason, what they say on the label is that they refer to it as slow aged. Now, how do you age something slowly?
7 years.
What
roughly.
aging is about is
Shoving it in a barrel.
shoving it in a barrel. But as temperature changes through summer and winter, the barrel breathes and absorbs more or less alcohol. So you'll find in Australia with a warm climate, you get a lot more flavour in the spirit faster because you've got hot and cold. You've got a completely different climate. Something in Scotland which is pretty consistently cold, like whiskey, ages really slowly. Flor de Caña intentionally age their rums in a very consistent, cool climate. So it ages slowly. It's not aggressive on the spirit. It's not aggressively putting all sorts of wood tannins. They leave it for 7 years and they really don't mess with it too much.
Just a bit of pepper, a bit of floral, bit of pepper. None of that appley stuff, flavour that we got out of the first one.
You're right. I'm getting like a pink peppercorn.
We've got Maddie says this one's a little bit milder. Jared says smells lovely, and Christine's got a chocolatey, very lightly smoked impression for this one.
I'm getting smokiness.
Yeah, I can get the smokiness. I see what that comes from. Would that come from the barrel,
There is a
Most
potential.
likely, yeah.
or does it come from the burning of the sugar cane, or the?
Both,
I think it'd be
probably.
more come from the barrel, but it could come from the sugar cane. I
Okay.
also get there's almost a cardamom kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Eva
note.
says she smells a very intense vanilla.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we've
this
got.
one.
Yeah.
So this is, we're getting lighter but spicier. So we're getting
Yeah.
peppercorn, you know, lots of vanilla. We're
Getting
getting
some cardamom and some
cardamom,
chocolate.
cocoa powder.
Yeah.
But the vanilla comes right over the top of you.
There's a little bit of oranginess to it.
Karen Fitt has joined. Hello, Karen Fitt. How are you? Heavens.
I'm even getting
From over in sunny Shoreham or Toorak, one or the other.
orange blossom, I think. I know that sounds a bit strange.
Really?
Now that I've gone down the
I don't
down
care.
the sort of chocolate, cardamom,
I could just smell
spicy, I'm getting right into those flavours.
Wow. Up right on the front palate, like black cardamom.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Colette says smells like vanilla cake. Yeah.
That's where Evie is.
Yeah.
And quite a different taste.
It's got a
and
very
colour.
dry finish.
But a different texture and mouthfeel. Do you think?
I'm liking the middle palate.
What's the alcohol percentage on this one?
I think they're all about 40, aren't they?
This bad boy is 40% ABV.
I think they're all 40.
Yeah.
Vanilla cake, says Colette. There you go.
Woohoo!
Is anyone else getting other flavours out of this?
Christina says very well rounded, caramelly, and a little bit buttery.
Yeah.
I get the butter actually.
I don't know how to spell caramelly either. I'm not sure how that works.
I'd probably
We'll look that up.
I'd probably spell it camely, but you know,
Yes.
but it's not. It's yeah.
That's a different word.
This does not smell camely for people. at
We
home.
digress.
No. Ross digresses again.
Indeed. Have we got a bottle opener?
We do.
Um,
It's in a bottle opener drawer, which is right here.
I think this one's less apple and more complex cardamom flavours. I'm actually going to go with some Fever Tree. This is their spiced orange ginger ale.
Which is a ripper.
From Fever Tree, from the lovely Trish from Fever Tree, who popped in today.
It's lovely to see Trish
It
again
was lovely
today.
to see Trish. We are going to do a tasting, I swear.
Yeah.
Jen has says spiced butterscotch. That's very well written.
Butterscotch is it? Yeah.
Yep, butterscotch is right. You're absolutely right, Jen.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to go for a try of that.
Splishy splash.
Yeah. Whee!
That brings out all of the herbal, cardamom, spicy flavours. That's delicious.
Do you think maybe a slice of orange with this one?
I think so. I think we could do that.
Oh, you've done very good cutting this time. Smaller slices for the glass.
Yeah, I got told off for having big slices of orange. If anyone hasn't noticed, I really like orange in spirits. But
It's as,
Chucking
it's as
oranges.
close as he
Just-
gets to fresh fruit and veg.
yeah, well.
That's right. He's into fresh fruit and veg. You saw one once.
Whoa, that's delicious.
Oh, I'm driving. I just swallowed that. That's yum.
I like that.
Oh, Eva
yeah.
likes that.
Ooh.
Hooray!
Eva's not even making that face.
No.
It's good. We like that.
I did put quite a bit of fever tree on them.
Whoa, okay.
That's really nice.
It goes to show that, you know,
The fever tree can fix anything.
yeah, well, rum and dry doesn't just have to be, you know,
Yeah.
generic and lime.
I like that.
That's a completely different drink.
Yeah. Where would you guys want to be drinking this?
I think that's like a spring.
At the Wig Cellar.
Yeah.
Aha. Well, lucky you are.
Again, I think this could be a really nice long drink, though, in summer. You know, you could have that could have some mint in it. Nearly, it could. Be,
I think this is because this is a little bit more fragrant. I think summer, spring or autumn.
big jug of that
On
But
a
a jug of
boat.
this in
on
first.
a boat.
On a
Arr.
boat.
Nah,
Hang on,
first- first
I'm
warm-
hearing.
First warm day in spring.
I'm hearing this. I'm hearing the swim up bar again. I'm not hearing many pirates.
Maybe
this
on
time.
a sailing boat, like on the river, something nice, you know.
Anyway, I think we
You can tell
digress.
she's from, you can tell she's from Hobart. You can't sail on the rivers here.
Yeah, there
Look.
isn't really a river.
There is a river, excuse me, but you can't sail on it. You can only go on
Sorry.
flat boats because the bridges are really low. But you can sail down on the Derwent. That would be fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's a very
Let's
nice
bring
drink.
out some
well done.
floral notes, which is great.
Well done.
Yum yum yum.
Good job.
Yeah.
And now we move on.
And the next one
We've
is
got, Liz has said, me too, I'm an orange fan. Surprise, surprise.
For anyone at home who hasn't met Liz, she is in my own school of thought with bright orange hair.
yes.
Helen said, good with fever tree, ginger ale and orange. And Mandy said, I'm smelling caramel.
Yep.
And Jenna said, by the pool.
Yes, by the pool would be good. I agree. So now which one are we moving on to now, Luke?
We are now moving on to the East London Lick & Co. Fine Demerara rum.
From
Demerara. What is it?
Demerara. So Demerara is the type of cane or the type of sugar, which specifically comes from Guyana. And the reason it's so specifically rare is it has to be grown in a certain part of Guyana by the river. Don't know what the name of the river is called.
Right. Okay. And this is from our very good friend Scott Reed, who's
Indeed.
online
Of Savant Spirits.
of Savannah Spirits.
There you go. Add for Scott and Savant. There you go, mate.
Job done.
Job done. Tick.
Product placement, name drop.
Now, unlike the other two rums, this is a slightly darker rum, and this is also not blended. So the people at East London Liquor Co. went straight to the distillers at Guyana and said, we don't want to blend it, we just want the best of Demerara. And that's what's in this bottle. So it's completely unblended, old school traditional Demerara rum made in one of the only wooden column stills left around.
Well, and I think I'm with Liz. It's very buttery.
Beaut. Eva?
This is buttered toast.
Oh, okay.
Yum.
This is where you really step from
Yum
blended
rum.
gold rums to flavorful,
Yeah.
rich, dark rums.
So what happens when you decide not to? We've discussed this a bit with wine, but and a bit with vodkas and things. What happens when you decide not to blend something?
You've got to have
You've got to have something good product.
Yeah. You've
Okay.
got to have a very flavorful original product. So the cane needs to be flavorful, complex. You need to have a high quality spirit. So it's got to be really rich and oily and delicious. And it's just got to be looked after and treated properly.
Okay.
You know, you can take all of the good things and then put it in a crappy barrel and treat it horribly, and it won't be good anymore. So, I think something about the people from East London Liquor Co. is that they treat their spirits with a lot of respect, from barreling and transport,
Yep.
aging,
Okay.
all of that.
Cool.
What are we getting on the nose?
Just buttered toast.
Yeah, Jenna said rum butter on crumpets.
Oh,
Yes.
cinnamon French toast, like that sort of
Oh, yeah.
cakey, spicy, maple syrupy even.
Yeah, that's what Christine's thinking. She's thinking super rich, butterscotch, vanilla, and deep caramelized sugar.
Oh.
Really intense, almost like fairy floss.
She says fairy floss every week.
Yeah, Christine,
Christine, I think
I'm
you've got a
boycotting the fairy floss. It's made from sugar, come on.
She's allowed to like fairy floss.
No, that's fair. We'll send her a packet next week.
We don't have any.
Ooh.
Yeah,
It smells just delicious.
this is
Oh, sorry.
This is more of an inside by the fire smelling thing.
I'm getting a lot more cakey sort of notes.
Yep.
Like, it reminds me of Madeleines, which are like an orange sponge cake.
I'm getting butterscotch. I'm getting caramel. I'm
Almond.
getting.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm smelling almond.
I can get a bit of almond there.
Bit chocolatey.
Only through my left nostril.
There's a bit of nuttiness though,
Oh, there is.
which I quite like. Almost like a pecan pie. Sorry, I'm getting carried
You
away.
always pull out the random things.
I do.
Pecan pie.
This one doesn't have as much texture on the mouthfeel. I don't know why that is.
Oh, it's got nice butteriness in the middle palate though.
Oh, it tastes nice.
I
I
think
feel.
I think this spirit's really interesting. It's got a really smooth transition front to back palate. Some of these ones get a bit chalky towards the end, which is nice and dry, but this has got a little bit.
Oh yes. Oh no, that's better. I obviously swirled it better that time. That's good. You get the whole palate thing.
Yeah.
Josh has said, so who likes to burn their marshmallows on the fire?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's totally what I want to be doing when I'm drinking this.
Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Scott says rich molasses, and I guess he would know.
Yeah.
And Jen said, good for marinating Christmas cake.
I think I'd use something a little
I'd
bit.
be marinating me and bugger the Christmas cake.
Yeah, exactly.
So pirate.
That being said,
Jeff Morgan's a bit of a pirate.
if you were making Christmas pudding and you needed something to make a really high proof, high boozy, good quality rum sauce, that would be amazing.
Mandy says yes, pecan pie, and Scott says yes, Ross Smith, chocolate or cacao. There you go.
Ooh,
Are you getting anything else from this,
You
Eva?
get a tick.
I get a
Scott
tick.
agrees with you.
cool.
Do you mix with this with anything?
Yeah, more of the stuff in the bottle.
Good use of words.
Yeah. I'm going for the big words today.
More of this stuff in the book.
I'm going to add orange to this, but I'm not going to add any ginger ale. I think I'm going to venture that far.
Yep. Okay. I do like the smaller pieces of orange. It does make it a bit easier.
So we started talking about rum and pirates earlier in the week, and I haven't got out of it, so I went in the mood for it. I think it's. I'm regressing somewhere, aren't I? Really?
Ross is definitely regressing. We've had a long week this week.
No offense, but Scott says he wouldn't waste it on cake.
I totally
I'm
agree.
with you, Scott.
A
I'm
long
with you,
week in a
Scott.
short week.
Marinate yourself with the rum and make the cake with something else.
Yeah.
Oh no, that orange really. What does the orange do to it? You think, Luke?
Oh, this is, yet again, I like to apologise to everyone at home. I'm going to bring out the most ridiculous of references. Crepe Suzette. Which is a flambéed orange crepe.
The look on Ross's face says it all. Just
Yeah.
like orange candy.
No, I'm back. You can have your crepe Suzette and you can have your rum, but let's just leave them in different rooms. My opinion only.
Scott says.
See, this-
Scott Reed says, "Oh, it makes a killer treacle cocktail." What goes in a killer treacle cocktail, Scott? Please
Please
advise.
let us know. Yeah.
he said, "We, chef."
Don't snort, Scott. Don't make.
I will snort laugh as much as I like. Thank you very much.
What
Colette says, for interest, not better with ginger ale. She's not going to mix it again, so she's with Ross. Just put more of what was in the bottle in the glass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Mandy's thinking with a campfire. That sort of.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good plan. Yep. And Christine and I think it was Josh saying, dark chocolate. Good with dark chocolate.
We have some of that.
I mean, I have some of that.
Oh.
What's this we right now?
We have a secret rare trading commodity in the store, which is whenever Vivienne wants something specifically done, she will suddenly appear with very fancy chocolates.
I don't know what
And
your
it
point
works
is.
pretty
Every
damn
time.
efficiently.
It works a treat.
Hey,
Oh, Scott has said a treat pool is a rum old fashioned with apple juice.
Yum. Bloody yum.
Okay, all right.
There you go. Interesting.
Luke will pop that in his little cocktail brain.
Are you thinking anywhere else you'd be wanting to drink this one?
This is an inside warming kind of thing. I think this is
By the fire,
I think
sort of.
this is by the fire, or as Mandy says, a little campfire outside.
this is none of this pool stuff.
No,
I
this
think
is
we're out of the pool. We've got
this is
dried.
the sun's
We're
gone
actually
down and you're having a serious drink
inside
at
by
this
the
point.
pool. Inside by the fire now.
Mm.
boy,
It's been a big day.
it's been a big day.
Well, it has been. We've been
I've
all
just
day in
been
the pool.
all day in the pool, and now we've got a campfire. Like this is,
Pretty flash.
yeah.
Blimey.
See, all these things can happen. All these things can happen for you in lockdown.
Yeah, I
Welcome
think-
to the Wig Cellar.
I would go as far to say this is a little bit less piratey and a little bit more,
It's a bit sophisticated.
it's a bit sophisticated, isn't it?
Nah, just a bit sophisticated.
Sophist to say.
No, sophisticated. We used to say.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Not too much apple juice. Yes, quite right, Scott. That's we assume that.
Yeah.
Way
This has the potential to
I've
be the whiskey drinker's rum.
Yes, I would agree with you there. I think this is the this
Yeah.
would be my entry level.
Um,
I'm going in at that level.
yeah. There's something to be said also about different types of spirits for different people. You know, some people like something
Yes.
like whiskey that
Some people can have other
you want
things and
something
we'll
like
have the good
this,
stuff.
and then some people want to make a daiquiri and they want something like that, or even a white rum. And then there's some people who want like a nice song drink in the summer and have
Yeah.
a Flor de Caña.
Yeah, okay. I can see why we've chosen those. There's
They
a
all
good
do
range
different
there.
things.
Yeah, cool. Good
Mm.
idea.
Cool.
Do we have any last words about rum? Ronnie, do you have a favourite out of them all?
I like the last one. Scott Lord Love Him has sent us a treacle #1 cocktail recipe, which we will
Publish
publish somewhere.
Beautiful.
Scott's recipe.
Mm. We will be posting Scott's recipe both to the Facebook page and the Instagram story. So if you go over to our Instagram, we are going to start posting some more cocktails, recipes
Combos and things.
in our Instagram stories, and we'll be saving them so that you can continue to see them. So if there's anybody who's missed out on a tasting and gets a sample of some of these spirits, they can go back and do those sorts of things.
Yeah.
As they wish.
So for those
So-
of you, for anybody who misses, you should just let them know that all of the tastings are loaded up on YouTube. You can just go and search them there and have a bit of a laugh.
And they will still obviously be on our Facebook.
And on Facebook.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
And
Wow.
next week,
So
Next
next week,
We are
dun,
doing
dun, dun.
citrus gin, which is behind you, Luke. Down.
oh, sorry, I've got to get off my chair for this one.
Get off your high chair.
Next week is citrus gin.
Citrus gin. So for those of you who are interested in citrus gin, we've got the Fossey's
Desert
Desert
Lime.
Lime. We can do that. Fossey's Desert Lime. The Malfi Pink Grapefruit.
And the Seville Marmalade
Seville
from
Marmalade,
Chase.
which I have wanted to taste forever.
Yum.
Yum, yum.
And I was particularly chuffed about this because when we were bottling up these little samples for next week's tastings, we did not have any confusion about what was what.
Because there's a green one,
These most beautifully colour
the
coordinated
yellow one,
spirits have made our jobs very
and the
easy.
pink one.
Don't mind the label.
So, in terms of citrus gins, we're doing them next week. We've got orange, pink grapefruit, and lime.
That's marmalade.
Seville marmalade, to be specific.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in terms of garnishing, we'll be doing orange, pink grapefruit, and lime. So,
And the
we
week-
will
is it
be
the week
pretty
after?
chuffed about that.
Beautiful. And
Awesome.
sorry. And the week after will be Tempranillo.
Indeed.
Tempranillo.
Tempranillo.
Tempranillo. But
We're doing the.
we'll talk a little bit more about
we'll
these
talk
next
a bit
week.
more about them next week. So
Yeah. What other housekeeping? We've got any housekeeping?
We also are putting our rums online. There will be
Yes.
a link shared in the event, and you can purchase them
Yeah.
online.
So we
So-
are going to slowly be moving towards doing some online sales if you are more accessible that way. So we will have all three of these rums available online. We'll be sharing a link to those in the coming week or so.
Oh, this evening.
Right now,
Right now.
as far as I know.
Well, yeah.
Don't hold me to that. Anyway,
Oh no, I've got.
hang on. Well, yes.
Hang on.
Liz wants to know how much do they cost?
Each
The rums. Can you pop the other one back?
Oh, okay.
59.95,
Yep.
84,
70s.
86, 84.
Flor de
Next
Flor de
level
Caña.
up. Up 7.
86.95.
86.
And then 99.
9.99. Sorry, that was a bit confusing.
But they'll also be on the link that we share.
But they'll
Indeed.
be on the link that we share, so the prices and the labels and everything will be there for you to see. So that's awesome. So thanks very much,
Beautiful.
everybody. We had some gorgeous pictures this week, and we'll announce a prize winner during the week.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
if you want to win some free stuff, maybe a free tasting pack, a bottle of something, feel free to take a photo, post it on your story or on your Instagram,
Did we-
tag us, let us know.
Did we announce last week's winner? Who was?
Last week's winner was Jen Dranks, who posted some beautiful cocktails from our coffee tasting.
And she joined us this evening with her rum.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes,
So,
so that's good.
lovely. We'll see you all next week.
So enjoy, have a great time, stay safe, and we'll see you for Citrus Tunes.
And don't
next
drink
week.
the Apollo Bay hand sanitizer.
Ham sanitizer.
Hand.
Adios.
Cheers.
Bye.
Arr, arr, arr.